chase, and no matter what, I'm living. Put that on everything. I got a dream to chase, and no matter what, I'm living.
Nairobi, Madaraka. It's always a pleasure to host you guys this evening. And let me invite Jennifer to lead us in the Rotary Grace. Jennifer, please go ahead.
O God and giver of all good, we thank thee for the daily food. May Rotary friends and Rotary ways help us to serve thee all of our days. Amen.
Thank you so much, Jennifer, for that. Much appreciated. So I'd now like to propose a toast. If you have a glass, charge it. If you don't, hand over heart. A toast to the President of the Republic of Kenya.
To the President.
Thank you so much. I would now like to invite Anthony Mange to lead us in the forward test. Anthony, karibu.
Asante sana, President. Of the things we think, say or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you, Mr.
Thank you so
President.
much, Anthony, for that session. I'll now like to give this opportunity for visiting Rotarians, guests, Rotaractors to just say hi to us. And so I think, let me start with Raymond. Raymond has not joined us for a while. Raymond, please say hi to us.
Thank you, President. Hello, everyone. Nice being here.
Thank you so much, Raymond. You remember your club?
President, it's Kampala Metropolitan.
Kampala. Thank you so much. Yeah, so thank you so much. Dr. Rakta Winnie, please say hi.
Good evening, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. My name is Winnie Matomo from the Great Rotaract Club of UN Afia, where I serve as the president. It's great to be in the meeting.
Thank you so much. Also give the opportunity to Andrew. Andrew, just say hi again. Andrew.
President, am I audible?
Yes, now you're audible.
Thank you, President. Good evening, members. I'm Andrew Tumsime from Rotary Club of Kampala, Sese Islands, who happen to be the mother club to Rotary Club of Kampala Metropolitan. President, once again, it's a privilege to join you for this this evening's fellowship. And as usual, I have wine to ensure that it gives me company in this fellowship. Thank you, President.
Thank you, Andrew. But we can only see your forehead. Eh? I want to see you. Thank you so much.
President, you know, at night I get shy. Sorry, shy. Yeah, I meant shy. Yeah.
Thank you, Andrew. Always a pleasure hosting you.
Thank you, President.
A special shout out to Noreen. Noreen, thank you so much for joining us once again. I love the company. Looking forward to having you as a member. I don't know if I've forgotten somewhere. Hopefully not. Thank you so much, guys, for that session. I see. So I'll now open the floor for announcements. I'd like to start off with the. There's a Bikeathon 2021-2022. Let me give this announcement. Just to update members, Rotary Club of Nairobi Lavington, following their successful organizing of their polio bikeathon for 2020-2021, was approached by the district to organize another bikeathon for 2021-2022, but now to focus on cancer awareness. So they have started off the process. So this is going to be a district event. And to help them out with that activity, they have requested other clubs to join in and assist. So we as Madaraka were called to assist, and we accepted the call. So we started the meetings every Monday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. So we actually, myself and other club members were just in that meeting. And if you'd like to join us in the same, please feel free to let me know so that you can plug in. There's a lot of activities being planned to make this event a success. There's a lot of activities happening in the background. So we need people to assist in fundraising, in the budgeting, and procurement, and also in the event itself. Even there's a Rotary committee, so there's a lot of activity. So if you would like to join in, so in this bikeathon planning process, please feel free to reach out to me so that you can plug in. So it's so, as you said, Rotary gives you opportunities to serve. So this is an opportunity for you to serve. So if you feel the call, please let me know so that we can make this event a success. Sorry. Thank you so much for that. So now I'd like to invite Rotary and Lydia and Tirango to give us a brief about our coming project. Lydia.
Thanks, Mr. President. So on the screen, you can see there is a poster there. We are planning to have a handing over project or ceremony on 2nd of October. It is something we had announced before, that we were trying to fundraise to buy equipment for this small NGO that does therapy for kids with disability, mainly those who have cerebral palsy. So the equipment that we hoped to buy were things like sitting and standing aids, massagers, temperature guns, and some armrest hand split. So we also got some donations that were like writing equipment, or like small holders, pen holders that help the kids to write with. So we were able to raise enough money to buy the equipment we've talked about, but we're also still receiving items in kind. You can also donate as per the poster if you still are interested to assist, and you can join us. But since the center is very small, it's advisable if you maybe let the president know well in advance so that we know how many people we're planning for on that particular day. Yeah, so karibuni, and looking forward to seeing you guys there.
Thank you, Rotary and Lydia, for that. I would like now to invite Joaquin Ndongo to give a brief.
Thank you, Mr. President. Evening, friends and family of Rotary. We have an upcoming social hangout on the 9th of October, as you can see on that poster, just for us to hang out, bond, you know. It's on 9th at 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. 10 a.m. not Madaraka time, 10 a.m. the real time. So if you're interested to join, please send your payment to Club Admin Director Muto on the number that's on the poster. Then also just you can RSVP on the number that you can see there. Yeah, and we hope to see you then. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you so much, Joki, for that. Now, allow me to give this opportunity for the treasurer to give her announcement. Keshi, please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, family and friends of Rotary. My announcement is to the members on our membership payments. We've been able to pay the country district and RI dues, but this has meant that we've had to dig into last year's financials. So I will request all of us to honor our dues. having in mind that we're having the DG visiting us again in a week's time. So let's have our books in order. Thank you.
Thank you, Rotary and Keshi, for that. Now, I'd like to invite our APP to share with us today's Rotary moment. APP, please, Karibu.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. It's a great day to be here, and an intimidating guest speaker. And I would like to speak about something that our guest speaker this evening is passionate about, and this is the Rotary Foundation. So the Rotary Foundation was founded in 1917, and this was by the 6th RI President, President Ashclump, with an initial donation of $26.5, which was given by Rotary Club of Kansas City in Missouri. And this has grown in the last 114 years, I'm ranking it up, 104 years, to over 1 billion in endowment. The first grant that the Rotary Foundation gave was a $500 grant. This was in 1930 to the International Society of Crippled Children. And just by that, you can see how far it's grown. In our district, I can say that our club was a beneficiary through our WASH project in Kirkau, where we did $54,000 of a project, the project size. And we see many clubs also doing quite a number of projects with some, as over 5 projects at a time, and some with as high as 100,000 US dollars. That's about just slightly above 10 million. How we can be able to give to Rotary, sources of funding for Rotary is mainly from Rotarians, corporate institutions, and individuals. And this is in several ways. It could be through cash donations or through leaving your estate to the Rotary Foundation as part of the endowment fund. And we can give to the Rotary Foundation online on My Rotary. I'm sure all members, you have access to My Rotary. And even if you're a non-member, you can still give through My Rotary. You can also do it through the club. This is by sending it to the bank account, and the treasurer will organize for our foundation director to be able to allocate these funds to you. And we have a very awesome district that has an M-Pesa as a payable number that we can use when giving to the Rotary Foundation if you want to do it privately. So that's just a snippet of what the Rotary Foundation is. And I'd like to encourage all of us to keep giving to the Rotary Foundation. At the moment, we're gearing up for a literacy project, which will be funded through the Rotary Foundation. For those who know, Rotary Foundation only funds projects that are above $30,000. And this, back then, it used to match 1-for-1. But at the moment, they're doing 80% matching. So let's continue investing in the foundation, investing in the future of Rotary and in our communities. There was once a saying that, we keep growing. I can't remember which did you say, we keep growing from the foundation. And if we keep growing at the rate that we're growing and not giving into it, we would deplete it, and our children won't be able to enjoy the benefits. So this is a call to action to all members and all who are listening in, that we can all give in different ways. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, APP, for that. Just to add on to what he says, there is currently the current DG Alex is doing a matching for any contributions to the foundation. So if you contribute $500, he'll match that, and the offer is still available for all Rotarians. So it's going to expire, I think, in November. So feel free to get matched by the DG as you contribute towards the foundation. Okay, so this section, I will allow me to introduce for you the guest speaker for today's evening. So our guest speaker today is PDG Peter Mbui. Peter Mbui graduated as a civil engineer from the University of Nairobi and worked briefly in the Ministry of Public Works. He, however, joined his brother and they founded Rift Valley Machinery Services Limited, a successful machinery business in Nakuru, which later moved its head office to Nairobi. His classification is machinery distribution. His service career started as a member of Nakuru Roundtable Organization for 9 years before joining the Rotary Club of Nakuru in 2001. He rose through the ranks to the position of president. He transferred to Nairobi East, where he once again served as a president before being appointed as assistant governor, country chair, district secretary, vice conference chair, district attendance chair, and served in various committees and task forces before his appointment as district governor in 2017-2018. He now serves as DRFC in charge of global grants and all Rotary Foundation activities. Peter is very widely traveled, having visited all continents. His hobby is hiking, and he has climbed Mount Kilimanjaro, Mount Kenya 3 times, as well as many mountains in the US, Europe, and Asia. Peter is married to Harriet, and they are blessed with 3 grown-up children and 1 granddaughter. Welcome, PDG, Peter Mbui.
Thank you very much, President Wilson. I hope I'm audible now. You can hear me, President?
Yes, audible
okay.
enough.
Yeah, so I want to really thank you for inviting me to grace your meeting, also share something with you. So I salute all the club members, all the Rotarians and guests who are on the call. Thank you very much for attending and for inviting me. I'll ask the host to allow me to share.
You can go ahead and share. Yeah,
okay. Yes. Yeah. So today we are going to discuss something about Rotary membership and quantity versus quality. And we are going to have a few learning objectives, which are, why is membership so important? And as we learn about why membership is so important, we want to learn why retention is crucial to maintaining your membership targets. 3, how to keep your members engaged. Let me set my time so that I don't take too much of your time. Now, why is membership critical? I want to start by the Rotary Vision Statement, which says, together we see a world where people unite, take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities and in ourselves. And straight away, we see that Rotary Vision Statement is talking about members. Because the question comes, who is going to unite? The members. Who will take action to create lasting change? The members. Who will cover the whole globe and all our communities? The members. Who will fundraise the money that is critical in doing all these things and achieving this Rotary Vision Statement? The members. So membership is nothing to discuss about. It is the most important thing. In fact, the performance of a president, this is to you, Mr. President Wilson, is summarized very simply by, you increase membership, you are a good president. Membership reduces, there is a question mark, because membership is the key thing. So we will not belabor that point again. Just know that membership is very, very important. But then, what about quantity of members? And quantity, we're talking about growth and continuously bringing in new members. It's actually very important. And that's why I say the reason why it's so important is that membership in itself is dynamic. If your membership remains constant, then I'm afraid your membership will definitely decline. And the reason is life happens. You are dealing with human beings, they will be transferred, others will be promoted. I don't think promotion is good for your membership. I would give you a few examples. Demotions will occur, those ones are definitely bad for you. Retrenchments, aging. Talking about aging, I know most of you may not know about the rule of 85, where if your age plus the number of years in Rotary reaches 85, then you are allowed to, is it? Yeah, you are allowed to be, a senior Rotarian. You don't have to pay dues. You don't have to, and you are still a Rotarian. So those things happen. And I have one club in our district which has 18 members who are above that age. And so they don't attend and all that. So aging happens to our people. And even me, you won't believe that in the next 2.5 years, I'll have achieved that because I'll be 62 and I'll be in Rotary for 22. That comes to just about 85. And so I will no longer be, I don't have to be an active Rotarian. Changes in finances, of course. Marriages. The other day we had a lady who got married, and that's it. She's never attended again because they moved elsewhere and all that. Migration. I have again an example of a lady. Recently, we had a meeting with a Rotary Club, a district in Holland, and I found a lady there who was an African. She had a Kikuyu name, so I asked her, "Hey, are you from Kenya?" She told me, "I'm not only from Kenya, but I know you very well." Because I think she was around when I was a DG or when I was rising up. She was a Rotarian, and she migrated to Holland, and she's there. Career shifts, sicknesses, and many even worse things can happen, even death, it happens. So what do I want to say by that? Recruitment of new members must remain a continuous exercise for a club to survive. When I was district governor, one club wrote to me informing everybody in the world. They wrote to all the DGs saying, our club is closing in September, and the reason is we have membership of 11, all of us above 87, and it is such a big problem just getting to the place. So we met one day, all of us, we had a big party and officially decided to close the club. So those things happen. So membership, it must be at the top of your list of to-dos, Mr. President. And it is a continuous exercise. Even if you increase by 10 members, no, that's not enough. Just keep on continuing and bringing in new members. Now, retaining quality members. First of all, what is a quality member? Roughly, a member is eligible if he or she pays the dues regularly, maintains an acceptable attendance record. It has been shifting long ago. It was very precise, 60% attendance. Nowadays, it's a bit flexible. And participates in club activities when you have installations, when you have visits to the club, to the projects, he or she attends once in a while. That is a good member, and you can't kick him out or him or her out unless, of course, they have integrity issues. But in the absence of that, that is a good member. Now, I always like asking presidents this question, and this is to you, Wilson. What is more difficult, recruitment of a new member or retention of an existing member? Wilson, I want you to answer that question so that I know that you are still there.
Right. So Personally, I think it's retention, like the big difficult one.
Pardon?
I think it's retention. For me, that's for me, that retention, because one of the beauties about our club is that at least we get people who are excited about joining. So we always have someone who is always at least interested in joining. So that's a good thing. It's a positive thing for us. I think for us is now and some of the years we kept seeing some people fall off. So we always wonder what's happening.
Yes, you are very right. If Rotary, if retention was easy, the membership in Rotary by now should be plus 2 million, almost 2 million. What we are 1.2, so we should be about 3.4, no, not 3, but for around 4 million. All the members who have come and left. Retention is very, very difficult. And so, just as there is a membership chair, I recommend that there should be a retention chair officer. And sometimes, these people, we call them in our district family of Rotary officer, but they are not given a clear mandate. It's not made clear what they are supposed to be doing. So sometimes they confuse it and think that the main thing is to visit the Rotarians if they are not coming. Well, that is quite okay. If they have some good things, good news, they have a birth, there is a marriage, they should be together. That's right. But the most important is to see who is falling off and try to make sure that they remain as Rotarians, they assist. And here, I like giving this case of this Rotarian, whom you call Mukasa. He was from Uganda. It's a true case. This Rotarian is the one who was away for a while, about 4 weeks. He did not attend any meeting. And so the board met, and as usual, they said those days it was very serious. If you meet 4 consecutive meetings, you could be, without an apology, you could be kicked out. So they wrote a letter and said, who can drop this letter warning this gentleman that if he doesn't show cause, why he should show cause, why he should not be dismissed from our club. And so one member volunteered to deliver it. It was on his way home, and he went. When he reached at the door and knocked, he was very surprised to see the reaction. The wife who came to open started by saying, oh, finally the Rotarians are here. And the guy was wondering, what? But he kept his cool. Then when he opened the door, he saw what was happening to Rotarian Mukasa. He had broken his leg, and it was in a heavy cast, and it was pulled on a stool because he could hardly move. He had had an accident. Nobody knew. So our Fred, the secretary, quickly decided to suspend the 4-way test. And anything he said from then henceforth was nothing but the truth. So he started by saying, oh, yes, I have been sent by the president to come and find out what is happening. I bring greetings from the board. And Mukasa was very happy. The wife was very busy cooking something for him, and after some time he told him, in fact, the whole club wanted me to find out what is happening. Then we are ready to come as a whole club. And that example just shows what Rotarians expect of you, when they join Rotary. You should be concerned. You should be there for them when they have issues. And so that is what Rotarians would be expecting to happen in case they're in a problem. But now, just like that, in that case, nobody was bothered. And so people go away. Now, what are the strategies for membership retention? The club must make deliberate plans and implement efforts to engage and retain its members. Implement strategies of engaging and retaining its members. But understanding why and when members leave is actually important. And there are several reasons why members leave after distinct periods, like less than 1 year, 1 to 2 years, 3 to 5 years, 6 to 10 years. And we are going to look at a few of them. Now, members living in less than 1 year after they join. And I want to add that a sizable number of members never pay their second year Rotary dues. They only pay the first years. And in some cases, they don't even pay the first one. If you make a mistake of, inducting them before you have paid, they never pay the first or the second, but usually the second. Members living in less than 1 year, what is the problem? They have not been informed of the responsibilities before joining. They were not mentored well after joining. They suddenly realized that there are attendance challenges, that it is quite a headache crossing Uhuru Highway, like for me in industrial area, and those attendance challenges I've been delayed until the meeting ended, just as I'm on the road. Financial obligations, they were not well explained, and this is very serious because you tell your members that the dues is say 17,000, but every day there's a happy dollar. Every day there's a guy going around with a form. They want more money. You didn't tell them that there's TRF. So sometimes they find that their financial obligations become too much, and of course unfulfilled networking expectations, and that's very important because when a new member comes, sometimes they are ignored. You find there's a group in Mandaraka of some guys who sit at a corner there, and you can't infiltrate them. In fact, they sort of close in and do not allow people to come in. I'm not talking about a case I do not know. It has happened in clubs. So what do you do? Communicating well about personal and professional benefits, making responsibilities clear, make Rotary fun, energetic with meetings without losing the Rotary mission, meaningful induction and assigning mentors. And of course, assigning them roles. Don't ignore them. Now, what about the ones who live within 1 to 2 years? Again, they do not feel engaged in club activities. The fellowship expectations are not being met. The same thing that they are not gelling well. Difficulties in the meeting attendance expectations. So identify 1 to 2 year Rotarians and ensure that they are involved in a project or committee that interests them. Ask them for feedback. Very important, always ask for feedback. Suggest assignments for them, assign mentors, or suggest they change mentors, because not all mentors are the same. Some are very hardworking, others fall by the wayside because of the issues I said, that life happens to anybody, a human being, things change. So you need to figure out how they are getting on. What about those who live in 3 to 5 years? Again, fellowship expectations are not being met. Frustrations with the club leadership. This is important. Once somebody is about 3 to 5 years old in the club, that person, you need to start giving him positions in the club. Otherwise, he feels frustrated. He starts understanding good president, a bad president, or good leadership, poor leadership, and of course, difficulty in meeting attendance requirements. What do? Provide leadership opportunities. Of course, revitalize club activities, put their expertise and skills to work, and get feedback from the people. This idea of having a feedback every year is very, very important. Now, what about the generals who have been in club for 6 to 10 years living? Expectations are not being met. And this means that the club has changed, and they liked going out, and now it's not happening. They liked physical meetings, now there are no physical meetings. But you can assist them by asking them to mentor new members. Frustration by club leadership. Always seek their opinions on rejuvenating the club. I find that very taken very seriously in our club. The new president always asks the old leadership for advice when they are doing things, just to see asking, can this work? Can this work? Not work? All those kind of things. Retirement or transfer. In case somebody is retiring or being transferred, forward their contact to the club near where they are moving to. And tell them that there's a great man coming around there. He's been with us for so many years. Again, if people are retired, please consider easing their financial obligations. And also make sure that you put their skills to work. It's very important because sometimes they feel ignored and, the young people are all over the place and these are slow moving people. They don't have so much energy, but they have skills. There's something they can do. In conclusion, I want to say, if you want to retain your members, if you want to have quality members, value your members. And by value, I mean, if your member has not come from the beginning of this year, Mr. President, you should know, you should be aware of that person. Somebody should be calling them. You can also take time and say, hey, I haven't seen you for such a long time. What's happening? So provide value in all your fellowships. For me, that is critical. I personally like attending meetings where there are speakers and good speakers for that matter. And I think I'm not the only one, because I see when we have a great speaker, we have attendances like when we had the RI president of 1,400. So apparently people like when you bring somebody of value to talk to them. That is your responsibility, Mr. President, and your team. Offer flexibility on attendance. That is there already. Paying dues. By that, I'm not saying that you don't ask them to pay the dues, but there are some clubs which are very strict. You must give one check. You must pay 2 installments. Sometimes, when people are having difficulties, even collecting a small amount, 500, 1,000 once in a while, it can help them, at least not end the year without paying anything. And finally, I think you either use the people or you lose them. Mr. President, it's now 20 minutes since I started speaking, and I think I'll end there, and I will now be ready for questions. I would just like to mention that in case I had somebody mention about the Rotary Foundation, yes, I can't forget about the Rotary Foundation. I want to see contributions coming in from the Rotary Club of Madaraka. Asante, and over to you, Mr. President.
Thank you so much, PDG, for that. Very, very much appreciated. And there are very wise nuggets that I picked up from your conversation. And I'll be sure to work with my team to sort of to implement some of them. The floor is now open for any questions or comments for the PDG. This is the opportunity to interact with him. And I know membership is always a burning concern, even for our club. We've seen, as I said, the retention has been a major concern. And so I think this is an opportunity for you to engage with the PTG. He has experience and he can shed light into any questions you might have. So if you have a question, please feel free to raise your hand or put it in the chat. Then we can interact with the PTG. So kindly, if anyone with a question, please raise your hand or put it in the chat. So, chat box. Who would like to kick off this session? I'm sure you have a question. There has to be a question. And as you think about a question, just need to mention that PDG Peter Mbui is also currently serving as the District Rotary Foundation Chair. So that's why we say he's very passionate about the foundation. He leads the team, the current district team, for that. So as people are contemplating, PDG, just to, okay, so here I see Peter Mashari has a question. Please go ahead, Peter.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. PDG, that was a great talk from your end. I'm always inspired by the energy and passion that you have for Rotary. You know, some of us after a year of leadership, we burn out and feel like we want to run away from the organization. What is your secret? How have you managed to keep yourself so energetic and so passionate about Rotary, always being in leadership for all these years that I've known you?
Okay, yeah, the energy has something to do with what I enjoy in Rotary. I find that Rotary gives me a very good opportunity to learn. I was always a curious person, and I enjoy good speeches, good talks, and I find that I get a lot of them in Rotary. For instance, now when we are having Zoom, I can attend many meetings in a week, about 3 or 4, you know, just by looking at what is good somewhere, you know, in one of the clubs. I'll join. I remember joining Ashia several times. I've joined Hurlingham, I've joined clubs, you know, even outside the city, just to listen to good speakers. But over and above that, before I joined Rotary, I think you heard I was around Tibla, a similar organization for younger people. And the way I joined these service organizations, I was discovered by these people when I was running a street children's rehabilitation center in Nakuru. So I come from a background where we like serving. So I used to run a street children rehabilitation center. And when we asked funds from Roundtable, they asked me, they found that I was a young man. I was in my early 30s, actually in my late 20s. So they said, oh, you are already a chairman and you are serving. So probably you can join us as a member. The interesting thing was that the Roundtable in Nakuru we were 20 members, 19 were Indians, and there was one African, who was me. And we stayed like that for 9 years. So it got me to understand the Indian culture a lot. But I must admit that sometimes it used to be very, very unusual when we go for picnics. You know, the Muslims would be frying, you know, we used to use sausages and things like that in one corner, and the Hindus, you know, doing theirs the other side. If you know, the Muslims can't touch pork, but and the Hindus can't touch beef. And then there was me and my family, and we are eating any, and even the utensils could not touch. I thought it was very interesting. Yeah, so that's how I got into, you know, it's not that I was invited, I was already serving before I joined. And by the way, I had a chance to look at your statistics. I noticed that you closed the year, last year you are 37, last year you dropped down to 33, but I can see that you are growing very fast now, you are 36 and 38. I would like to remind you that the target for you is 50. The reason is, we want Mandaraka to be a big club, what we call Tier 1 club. And Tier 1 clubs are the clubs with people over 50. Now you are a serious club. I don't see why Mandaraka should not target it to be 50, probably even by the end of the year. Thank you very much.
Thank you, PDG, for that. Stalin, I see you raised your hand. Please go ahead.
Thank you, President. My question to our guest, I don't know if I'm audible.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. When you first joined Rotary, did you face any challenges? Did you face any challenges being part of a team? And what was your first role and how did you go about it? Because I just got my first assignment and I've had to try and do research to see if there's anything about SAA, any requirements. It's been a bit difficult. So I've just had to rely on, you know, some guidance here and there. but I feel like there should be a writing somewhere. Thank you.
Okay. Actually, when I joined, I didn't have any problems at all. I'd been in another organization. In fact, the day I joined, I was appointed assistant treasurer on the day I joined and sat on the board from the first day I joined Rotary. And it is strange that I've sat on the board all those years. Now as an advisor, ever since I joined Rotary, I sit on the board there. I'm always put there as an advisor and all. Also, I don't attend all the meetings, but yes, I do attend. I didn't find any problem, and I just asked the people there, and I got to gelling, and I loved it. Also, I never used to go on leave because I'm a businessman, and small businessmen do not take leave. You might find people have not been working in your absence, and you have to pay them. So I used to take my leave when I go for the DCAs and RI conventions. So I loved that. Yeah, never had a problem.
Thank you. There is a question here on the chat from Melissa. Melissa asked, great insights, PDG Mbui. There have been cases where member attritions have been due to the leadership, which some may deem dictatorial. Once the member disengages, it becomes a habit and we lose them forever. What advice would you provide to the board and the future leaders of the club?
No. That is a real problem. In fact, that's how clubs collapse. And just like we are told in our politics, the leaders you choose, we have seen, especially with the corona, the people who had chosen bad leaders, they actually died. It's not that they got into problems. They literally died in some of these countries. I won't mention them, but you know them, where they elected bogus characters. They actually died. The 500,000, 300,000 dead. So what I'm saying is that the leadership is a big challenge. You must choose good leaders. And in case you find there's a problem, and I've seen in some cases, you remove the leaders. The club belongs to you, not to the leader. And you should have a strong board. I won't go further into that, but I'm saying yes. Most of the clubs which collapse, it is purely a leadership issue. And a leadership issue, if you didn't know, is a membership issue. It is the members who allow it for somebody to run over you and do things which are wrong. It is the members. So you, the members, must take full responsibility and put your leaders on their toes.
Thank you for that. Jokindong, I see your hand is up. Please go ahead and ask.
Thank you, Mr. President. So PDG Peter, thank you so much for that insightful talk. I've picked a lot of tips, which I'll definitely take on as we look to grow and retain our club membership. You've also talked about what it takes to be a good Rotarian who pays dues, attends fellowships regularly, participates in club projects. So just like in corporate where you have the onboarding process, the retention, what would be your advice at the point where you have members probably not in good standing, not attending fellowships or participating in projects? What is the best go-to when you're offboarding such members?
First of all, I do remember one member in my club who had been promoted and transferred to some place near the airport. And Nairobi East, we meet at the Nairobi Club. So he was, actually it was near just within the airport. And of course, now he couldn't attend. And he was just about to resign from Rotary. But then he had a baby, and we got to hear about it. and we organized to visit the club as a club. Just go and visit him and say hello and see the new baby. And later he told us that act alone made him not to resign from Rotary. The fact that he found people care, that is what made him. His father had been hospitalized, so we went there and we talked to him nicely. We had coffee there, and his wife said, "Oh, these are your friends. I have not been seeing other friends coming to see you, and these are very good people." So with that, the man changed his mind and he's still with us something like 10 years down the line. He's the one who told us we didn't know that he was about to resign. But what I'm saying is that if you take care of your members, if you are really concerned, if you have somebody who is concerned about them, people want to be a place where they feel they are worthy. If you ignore them, if they are having issues and you do not show any, you just show apathy, it won't work. So that is what I would say. Treat them well and be really concerned. That's why towards the end, I said, please value your members. Seriously value, don't just do it. Just say, I value my members. Let it be seen that you value the members and they will stick with you. Yeah.
Is mute.
Thank you so much for that.
It's like me when I'm annoyed by Dodo. Mute.
Sorry for that. So David Biama asks, he's currently unable to speak. Over the years, what have been the main reasons why members have left Rotary or are not active?
Again, why members leave? I first of all mentioned that leaving Rotary, people will definitely leave simply because they are human beings. Things happen to them. And that's why I said that the recruitment is a continuous process. I mentioned that people will leave because they have been transferred, their economic circumstances have changed. I'll quote some two gentlemen who, one of them I inducted, like Isaac Maura, the MP, I inducted him as a member of Rotary Club of Roiro. But he became an MP. I don't think he has ever attended a meeting again. I took over, one of the roles I played was a district attendance chair. I took it over from a man called Murioki Jagagwa. He is the MP of Mbere. The following year, he was elected MP. He had to leave. We used to work closely with Justice Mombi Ngugi before she became a justice. She was a member of Rotary Club of Nairobi North. From the day she became a justice, she has never come back to Rotary. And there are all those kind of things that happen to human beings. So do not worry very much that there are some people who will go. It is expected. It is known that it will happen. And that's why we will keep on adding people. And there's nothing necessarily wrong. But the ones who fall by the wayside, again, somebody should try to find out why are they not coming. And it should not be done in a way to frighten them. It is out of friendship and all that, out of concern. If you do that, they will stick around. But that will be that president. After another president comes and he doesn't care, they will go for good. Yeah.
Thank you so much. There's a question here from Rotaract Winnie Matu. She asks, any strategies for membership increase and retention specific to institution-based clubs? She's from the Rotaract Club of UN Afia, based out of Nairobi, the Kenyatta Hospital there. Let me just say that.
Yes, strategies for membership increase are usually the same all over. Value, value, value. What programs do you have? Like, let's say, Rotaractors. If you want Rotaractors to join your club, what are you doing? You invite them for, let's say, an exercise. Like I remember when I was in Nakuru, Rotary Club of Egerton, they organized to come and sweep the town. Now, you would think that sweeping the town of Nakuru that time, it was very dirty. It's a simple affair, but it involved quite a lot. They had talked to the county, but we spent the whole day sweeping there with them. And apparently it was very popular. People thought it was very interesting. There were people would stop and help us and all that. And it was a very interesting thing, just sweeping in the town, wearing the Rotaract shirts for a whole day. And they did a splendid job. Then, of course, the parties and the events that you have, what kind of programs do you have? Even quizzes, you must do something which excites people and adds value to them. They will come. But if you just come there and you give them and lecture them and tell them to pay, oh no, that one will not work. If you organize trips, I'll give an example. When I was president, I organized a free accommodation in a RI convention. By the time I organized, there had only been 2 people who had attended an RI convention. So I told them, oh, I've organized with a club there, they will give you free accommodation. Can you believe 22 people from Nakuru registered for the RI convention simply because I'd organized free accommodation on the other end? Don't forget that the ticket was still 120,000 shillings, but somehow people thought that it's organized, we are giving value. Very many people came, and we had a disaster on the other side because I told them to expect about 3 people. So when I told them that we have 22, even the host wanted to run away. But that is, it ended up to be a very wonderful outing.
Thank you so much, PDG. I think finally for me, I just wanted to have your thoughts on the past members, post-Rotary members. What sort of level of association should they have with the club? I think that's drawing from 2 scenarios. I think in our club, we have a very close association with our past members. But what we've seen in other clubs, especially just some clubs I've interacted with, is that once you fail to honor your dues, or once you fail to participate in sort of even the fellowships, they excommunicate you per se. They tell you you're no longer Rotarian. They remove you from WhatsApp. They do everything. Is that so? What is acceptable practice in terms of when it comes to your past members, people who have sort of fallen off, but still could still be valuable in my opinion? But yeah, so thought on that.
Well, the people who fall off are not necessarily bad. And remember, the reason why people fall off, some of them simply cannot make it. Like now, if you are transferred very far away, others have financial issues, but those things are not permanent. Somebody who has a financial issue this year need not have a financial issue 5 years down the line or 3 years down the line. I've seen some Rotarians come back in our club, but I must admit that they are not very many, especially when they come and find that the people they left, now they are very senior, and there are a large number of other, movers and takers who are younger. They don't fit in very well. Well, while we should be fairly, civil in the way we deal with the people who are no longer Rotarians, we must also admit that for Rotary to run, it means paying members. So there will be a limit to what you can do for them. If they are still useful, and useful, we know to be useful is when you are going to a project, they can come, they can contribute something. They are still valuable members, and they should remain your friends. You should not declare them enemies simply because they have left Rotary, because they can still be very, very useful. There's one member who left, but whenever we are going for a project, he comes and he's one of the first people to donate. And even donating his time is very important for us. So yes, just try to engage them, but probably you can keep them off the main Rotary issues, like the WhatsApp. I don't know whether it's necessary for them to remain, but I'll leave that one to you on how you need to handle them. But you shouldn't throw them away or alienate them, because they can still be useful. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Sorry, before we close, there's a burning question here from our membership director. She asks, as we look to grow our membership, how do you achieve that sweet balance of not losing the intimacy connection of members in a medium sized club vis-a-vis a large sized club?
Now, you know, this is where we say there are consequences of whatever decisions. Decisions have consequences. So there's no way you're going to remain intimate friends if you have a club of 95 members like Nairobi East. But sometimes I must admit it's embarrassing. There's a day I went for a hike. You know, I like hiking with a gentleman, and we hiked the whole day. When we are finishing and we became friends, when we are finishing, I asked him, hey, and by the way, I've seen you in Rotary. Which club do you belong to? He told me Nairobi East. So I could not believe it that we have been with a guy who is a member of our club, but I don't seem to have ever seen him. So yes, something we have to give way. And the way you manage it is what is going to determine whether you remain a big club. The big clubs have their own challenges. So I would just say that you just have to do your best to make sure that people remain relevant, even though that it's so big that even knowing the members themselves is a challenge. You can get somebody from Rotary Club of Langata to tell you how they manage, but for them sometimes they are very long swallowships, and during swallowships, then the people are able to blend a bit better. So I really don't have a good answer for that, but I would just say that there will be challenges of a small club, just that there are challenges in a big club. Asante.
Thank you so much, PDG, for that. I'd now like to invite Rotarian Ndirango Mujiri to give the vote of thanks. Ndirango.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. Mr. President, PDG Peter Mbui, fellow Rotarians and guests, good evening.
Good evening.
On behalf of the Mr. President, the board, and the committee, and also the Rotarians of the club, I want to thank PDG Peter Mbui for your presentation. It was a great presentation that you have given us about maintaining our membership. And you have been able to remind us about issue about quality membership and the issue of if we get members, constant members, that means the club is going to die very soon. We have indicated about the issue about aging is a factor of club decline, about promotion, demotion, marriages, finance is also an issue. And remind us that the importance of membership is a key thing as per the Rotary vision, whereby create lasting change to the Rotary, and also remind us about the quality members, which is dues, payment of dues, attendance 60%, and also participating in the club activities as required. And recruitment is a must and a continuous exercise. We don't have a month to recruit. It should be starting from the start of the year and the end of the year should be recruiting our members. And also, you are giving us the retention, the strategy to have retention. And one of the major issues I got from this is value of members and also mentorship, because you find some of members can join us, mentorship lacks, and they drop from the club after some time. And also the members know their financial obligation. And something that might lack in some clubs, network. We need to have a full network and make the meetings fun, which I believe Rotary Club Madaraka, they are good in making fun. I think, thank you so much for this, Mr. PDG Mbui. It has given us a clear picture how we can be able to retain and grow our club. As according to you, you are giving us a challenge to be a tier 1 club, to be doing the big projects, to be having a club of 50 members and above. I think this is an issue that as a club we can take and be there. We hope you continue to give this more and also give more challenges to us young Rotarians and to serve more in the Rotary family. And I believe this will make everyone proud of you, what you are doing, from what we did from your leadership as a young person to where you are. And I believe our members, they are proud of you when they one day that they get to the 85 years age, whereby they will be passive members. I think it's a great thing for the Rotary. Thank you so much, PDG Peter Mbui, for this. And I wish you the best and whatever you do and you serve. And I wish you have a great evening. Thank you so much, Peter Mbui.
Thank you.
Back to you, Mr. President.